It may seem to you that this video is too late, but it is not. If for a long time you was thinking about buying Pocophone but did not dare, now friends, it is time to buy it, and I will explain why. This is a review after a month of use. F1 was my daily driver for a month, and during that time only one disadvantage was revealed. Only one. Let's talk about everything in order, and I promise that this video will not be too long, maximum 8 minutes, so let's go. And let's talk about money first. At the time of video recording, XIAOMI Pocophone F1 you can buy for $290. I will leave a link in the description if you don't believe me. The back side of the smartphone is plastic, and yes, because of this, smartphone does not look expensive. Many people complain about this, but guys, you can't complain because it is not expensive. By the way, even though I used the smartphone with a silicone case, a small scratch still appeared on the back side, right on the letter A in the word China, as you can see. As for the rest, nothing happened to the housing, it did not begin to pop, the assembly is simply gorgeous. By the way, I have this opening case, it is Nilken, then the smartphone has a Hall sensor, so the screen turns on when you open the cover. The screen is covered with an incomprehensible generation of Corning Gorilla Glass. The generation is not indicated on the Corning Gorilla website, but after months of use without the screen protector, scratches almost did not appear. Only 2 small scratches, and I cannot record it with my camera. And compared to the Redmi series smartphones, this is a great advantage. Look at the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 screen after a month of use, no Gorilla Glass there. About the main thing, I was making calls a lot, and there are no problems with this. And finally, the proximity sensor works without any complaints. It performs its function as it should. The screen goes off and lights up at the right time. I'm talking about it because my other Xiaomi phones sometimes had problems with proximity sensor. The fingerprint scanner is one of the fastest on the planet, and the smartphone unlocks almost instantly. The speaker volume is high enough, a test with listening to YouTube video in my car smartphone passes, and everything is audible perfectly. And by the way, I constantly used 3.5mm audio jack. It is here, it makes me very happy that I do not need to use these damn adapters. And by the way, the smartphone produces a very good sound. The volume and the quality is good enough for an ordinary person. The interface in the smartphone flies, and I want to emphasize that for a month of use, he never threw any errors. When this phone was launched, there were many complaints that it had a lot of software errors, but now everything is fixed within updates. And also some have mentioned about advertising in the smartphone, which annoyingly pops up at the most inappropriate moment, offering to install some applications. And guys, I have no advertising. The smartphone does not pop any applications and does not ask to install anything. Everything is clean. By the way, the smartphone can be controlled in full screen mode, that is without the standard Android buttons, and I can tell you that in this smartphone such control, because of its processor and fast memory, works much more smoothly than on the budget Redmi Note 5. And this controls has only one drawback. If you use swipe when texting, it can often work as back button, if the letter with which you start to write is at the edge of the screen. Such a nuance. Many were talking that Poco throttled and that his performance drops sharply during heavy games. Is it so? I tested. Firstly, I took round the Antutu test 5 times in a circle, and the results you see on the screen. The losses are not very significant, if they can be called losses at all. But tests are tests, and what about real games? I launched Medout 2. This is a demanding game. I played it for 30 minutes at the highest resolution. The minimum frame value was 32, and after the game I immediately launched Antutu, and after running test, F1 scored 291,000. So it's good. In addition, there is a vote about throttling of one of the forums, and you can see its results on the screen. Only 4% noticed throttling. So there are no any throttling, friends. Forget it. The IPS screen resolution is 2246 x 1080, almost 6.2 inches. There is an eyebrow, a large one, and it can be hidden with soft. Bottom below the screen has a big chin, and the Unreal screen roundings also at the bottom. I personally do not like them. What about you? Viewing angles are decent, colors are saturated, there is an adjustment of contrast and white balance in settings, touch is for 10 spots and you can wake up your smartphone with a double tap of the screen. And there is also an adjustment of minimum brightness. I liked it very much, I never saw it in any other smartphones. But the screen has a disadvantage, and this is the disadvantage that I spoke about at the beginning of the video. In my case, there is a backlight inequality at the bottom of the screen. It is seen well on a grey wallpaper. Here I'm showing it to you. There are lots of claims about it on the internet. Many even requested exchange it because of this. But as for me, I think this light is not too critical. Moreover, I did not notice backlight inequality immediately when I unpacked Pocophone, just after a couple of days. So this is that disadvantage that I didn't like. The smartphone is equipped with 4000 mAh battery. It is just a beast, and the battery charges from its charging block in 30 minutes till 35% and 100% charges almost in 2 hours. I cannot say that it is fast, but it is okay. I always measure the battery with screen hours of activity, and this smartphone gives an average of about 6 hours of active screen. This is a good result. Look at my screenshots. Camera. Many are saying that camera is not good, the picture is blurry, blah blah blah. But look at the pictures that I made with this smartphone. They are good. Even at night I managed to get decent shot. Yes, sometimes the frame is not obtained from the first time. Poco has no optical stabilization. And in addition, autofocus of this smartphone is very fast. Just look at it, it is super fast. And what about the video? Optical stabilization is not here. Stabilization is only electronic and it does not work on 4K, at least at the time when I'm making this video review. Here are some examples of the shooting.
На экране все выглядит красиво, здесь тоже фокусировка отменная. Ну что, это у нас 4К видео. И как вы видите, как снимает оба аппарата. 4К без стабилизации.
In this smartphone, the focus is clear and the sound recording is very good, and it is in stereo. So what do we have at the end? In my opinion, the Pocophone F1 is great value for its money. Yes, at the start there were problems with the software, but now everything has been fixed. And if some claims are made, it is only to the screen. Yes, there is an eyebrow, yes, there just mad rounding at the bottom of the screen, and yes, there is a backlight inequality, but all in all, it is not critical. And you just think about it, the top Snapdragon 845 chip, fast UFS 2.1 memory, and this contributes to the speed of the smartphone interface, what undoubtedly has a positive effect on the interaction with the device, which you take in your hand hundreds times a day. No throttling, forget about it, play games if you want. The sound is as good as 3.5mm jack. The camera is also not bad with fast autofocus, with good sound recording. Not the best on the market, but it will be enough for you. The smartphone just keeps in touch, it's very autonomous. 6 hours of screen, and I have a question. What more do you want? What more do you need from the phone? Okay, there is no NFC, but if you do not like the plastic on the backside, just hide it with the case that you can order from AliExpress and you will be happy. So I hope you liked my video. My name is Eugene, by the way, if you didn't know, and subscribe to my channel if you didn't yet. And see you in the next video. Peace!